Hey folks, it's Mike here from the Wewrench shop, and welcome to Wewrench episode 7, 1992 BMW E34 M5 restoration. And in this episode, we remove some more coolant hoses, we do some more work under the hood, and we also completely remove the engine wiring harness, which is a really interesting step towards removing the engine and the powertrain. So if you guys find this interesting, informative, and entertaining, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and stay tuned.
This is the electronic actuator that controls coolant flow into the heater core. And there is another coolant line that goes to the back of the cylinder head. This one. And when we follow it, it goes up to this mechanism here and ends there. So we have to undo this one. Next thing that we're going to tackle is the wiring harness. The engine actually comes out with the wiring harness, so we have to follow it here. It goes through this channel. There's something under here we have to do, if I recall, and we go into the DME box and we take the DME out, and there's also a couple leads that we have to take off the ignition coil. These are 10 millimeter, by the way. Comes off. Next step is to free up this part of the harness. So what we want to do is we want to cut the zip ties all through here. We want to undo these two grounds right here. These are 10 millimeters, and then there's a couple leads that come off the coil on the top there. We have to undo those. Two 10 millimeters for these grounds here. $10mm on the top of the coil. And the other coil lead is an 8mm. Next thing I want to do is just get this bracket out of the way. It's got these plastic retainer nuts. They come off really easy. You just need a flathead. This bracket just kind of divides the harness and protects the part that goes into the DME. Once that's out, you can undo the leads for the coils and the grounds. Continuing on wiring harness removal, we have to go into that side, pull the DME and the harness out with it. There's also some work to do on this side as well. If you follow the harness coming to this way, it leads over here and then goes to this junction plug, and I believe you have to pull the diag plug out with it. Lift this up just to make sure that the harness is free. This junction just unscrews. Okay, so that part is free. Now it looks like this goes underneath to the diag port there. There's a tab here. If you undo the tab, you can pull up on this. That's the tab that I was talking about. See the clip here? You push in and you pull up, and that frees that. Now, this is the mass airflow sensor plug, which is underneath here. I'll free this up. That part of the harness is now free. This part of the harness goes down to the engine. And we want to just do this. This coolant hose here is kind of in the way, so I obviously have it undone at this side. I'm going to undo it on the heater core side as well. I'm going in there with a really long flathead. I just want this out of the way. I can foresee a situation where we're lowering the engine down and it's just going to get caught and snagged. You want to minimize serpent's nests. If you see a whole bunch of wires and pipes crossing each other, if you're going to do something invasive, you want to be wary of it. Next part is going to be to pull the DME cover, and to do this, there are Phillips head screws kind of down in here at each corner. So once you undo those, you'll be able to pull the DME cover. Oh. With the Phillips head screws off, this will lift straight up. Here's a nice shot of what's inside of the DME box. This is your engine controller. We got some relays here. This is anti-lock brakes, I believe. This is the part of the harness that we are concerned with, I think. The relay box might need to come out, but basically everything that goes passing through this grommet to this side is what we're after. So we have some 10 mils to unbolt this, and let's start taking it apart and see how it comes loose. So here's how this is all going to come out of here. You have 10 millimeter nuts here, here, and here, here, and here, and then also right here. That will allow you to pull this bracket straight up. This bracket is what holds these harnesses in. So once that bracket is out of there, those grommets will be able to be pushed through this way to the other side of the sheet metal. So what we got to do is we have to unplug the ECM, or the DME rather. ECM is an Audi term. We're going to unplug this. With this unplugged, the plug will be able to exit out of this hole. This, I believe, is a temperature sensor for this compartment. If this compartment overheats, there's like a fan, like it has its own ventilation system. So that's going to come out too. Also, this loom here is also what goes to this relay station. I think the relay station, I think I can squeeze this assembly out of that hole intact. It looks like it will fit. This power cable has to be detached because this side goes to the car. So Let's see what we can do with this here. All right. So this is detached. This is some kind of junction. This looks like this can be undone. Yeah, see that? This can be undone. So once we undo this, then what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to pull it out from here. By the way, guys, always bag and tag. I have these Ziploc bags for every single section on the car that I work on. Has its own bag. So this is the, this nut is really tight, so you have to counter hold it with something. All right, that junction is now separated. We're ready to go. All right, let's go for it. Oh, there's something I'm missing. It's a plug. It's a plug, this plug. This, I don't know if you can see it. This piece of wire. Sorry if you can't see it. This piece of wire goes down into the car and it leads up to this plug. So we have to get this plug off. Here's a better shot. The wires coming out of the other side of this plug go to the car. This is a step you got to take some real care in because I do not want to damage this harness. The amount of problems that you will have when starting the car back up if you manhandle the harness, you just don't even want to go there. So this is free. This is the side that goes to the car. You see unplug, come out. Something else too. This needs to be unplugged. Okay. If anybody knows what this module is, please chime in. I think this is a general module, I don't know. Here's the part number. I don't know which module this is exactly. Crafty. I can get this out of here like this. DME wiring harness is free.